Alright there folks, so welcome to something a little bit different on the channel for Football Manager 2018. Who played the old Championship managers and Football Managers, apart from obviously the current one? I'm sure you all have, and on screen we've got 6, I think everyone would agree, of the best players that have graced the games. I mean, some of them, one of them isn't even real, we'll get to him, but I thought it'd be interesting to add them to the game as best we can and see what happens if they were to be, see how they change the face of world football. So to explain, each player's been given current ability of 155, these are ridiculously good stats by the way, 155 and a PA, so a potential ability of 200, effectively meaning all these players could become the best players in the world. They weren't all given those particular ratings in their best time in Football Manager or Championship Manager, however. Sigporsson, second man from the ball, Sigporsson, I should say, was given a potential ability of 200, apparently, so he could have become the best player in the world. Sadly, suffered from injuries, I think. He did play for Bayern Munich at one stage. Anyway, they've all been given an age of 18. They all share the same birthday. Physically, I've done my best with them, and ratings-wise, I've done my best with them as well. So let's kick off from the top, shall we? Let's have a quick look. Ibrahima Bakayoko. You'd want to sign all these players. I've copied a lot of the stats from screenshots, because I'm not going back and loading up low versions of Football Manager and Championship Manager to get these players' stats. Who's got the time? So I've copied a lot of the stats and filled in the blanks that seem to make sense to me. So it's not going to be damn right, but it's going to be a bit of fun. So Bakayoko, Championship Manager legend, was at Montpellier. Very low wages, of course, so anybody could sign this boy up, although I'm sure Montpellier will want to keep him around. Another boy, Zola-Moukoko. Jesus, Derby, you've got quite a player. I expect him to score a lot of goals for you, attack midfield and striker, so I'd be interested to see what Derby do with him. Samba, a player I used to sign a great deal. The only Englishman in this list. He's going to break records, I think. Starts at Millwall. Maxim, we spelt the name wrong, but we spelt it wrong intentionally. Tsigalko, the Football Manager spelt it wrong as well, so we're sticking with it. Belarusian, playing for Dinamo Minsk, so we'll see if he comes into Europe. Well, I mean, he's in Europe, but we'll see if he comes into Western Europe or if he stays out on the East. Andrei Sigporsson, we've touched on. He had time at Bayern, but then went to KR in Iceland, so he is back in Reykjavik now. That's where we're going to start him off. Maybe we should have started him at Bayern, but I think it's more interesting if we kick him off in Iceland. And then Maderia, not a real player, never existed, just invented by one of the researchers or a team of the researchers apparently. So he was given a club, but obviously it wasn't a real club. So I've started him off unattached, and you can see. He's quite the hot prospect, wanted by clubs such as Liverpool, Manchester City, AC Milan, Genoa, Inter, and Napoli. He's got his pick, and why wouldn't he be? That's one hell of a player. So I think what we'll do is we'll sim forward. We'll run it through. I'm not going to be managing any of these teams. I wouldn't mind having that kind of strike force available to me. I'm sure you'd agree. But yeah, we'll sim through the season and see where these players have got to, what they've achieved by the time they're 19 and they've had one season in professional football. You'd expect quite a few of these players to be picking up international caps, maybe even picking up international titles. Who knows, maybe all these players will end up playing in the same club. Can you see them all at Real Madrid? We'll find out. I'll come back to you in just a minute for the end of Season 1, and we might even get to Season 2 in this first episode. So do stick with me. And so here we go then. This is 1 year in, pretty much 1 year in. You can see at the top of the screen, Maderia joined Manchester City of all clubs. Actually, it was a pretty big part of their league campaign by the looks of all things. 22 league mostly from the bench, but still notched in 10 goals in the season, 2 assists. Seems to be developing quite nicely. Certainly classed as a Wonderkid, worth practically 20 million. More interestingly, he's in the Portugal squad. 11 caps, 4 goals for his national side. Cristiano Ronaldo has someone to pass the baton onto. Coming down, Zola-Moukoko, pretty good as well. Also a Wonderkid. Well in at Derby, worth £8.5 million. Still on a very low contract, of course. That'll be his starting contract, but he scored 17 league goals for Derby. That'll be in the Championship. Didn't get promoted, though. So he is facing the prospect of another season. Probably not a bad thing, in fairness, but 19 goals in all competitions in 41 games. Not too bad. Cherno Samba, the man who scores more goals than anything. Also a Wonderkid. I expect that comment on each one. 1 in 2 man for him at Millwall in the Championship. That's where he'll be staying. He's got 16 and 7 assists. Not too bad. Ibrahima Bakayoko. Decent season as well for Montpellier. So again, it continues really. No one's blasting their way through games, are they? 6.89, 7 goals in 30 games pretty much. 9 in 34 all told. It's steady. Tsigalko, or Tsigalko, however you say his name, 11 in 21. Still at Minsk. Lesser value, less high profile. Should explain, gave the players very lowish reputation so they could build their own futures, really, make their own moves rather than just be immediately snapped up by Barcelona. Obviously, hasn't prevented Maderia being snapped up straight away by Man City, but you can't have everything. Sigporsson or Sigporsson, pacey hitman, not youth, not a Wonderkid, but still international football, 4 caps, 2 goals. They're already obviously into their second season in Iceland now in their Premier Division. It's got a good strike record, that league. You see they're 8.09. It's he's certainly going to tear that league apart. I think it's excellent. No one's moved. It's just Madeira. No one's wanted. This injury to Tsigalko, just fractured ribs. He should be back for the start-ish of the Belarusian season. Assumedly, I don't know when that starts, to be quite honest. He's capped as well. Minsk. Let's have a quick check. Yeah, their second seat, the highest league. It's the highest league possible in Minsk. 34 points so far for them, and they've actually won the title. So Tsigalko helping to break Bate Borisov's domination of the Belarusian league, perhaps. Although he did only score 1 goal, so maybe not. Bakayoko, yeah, great for him. And Madeira just needs a rest. Assumedly, he's playing in the World Cup. If Portugal have included him in their World Cup squads. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, he's starting games for Portugal. They beat USA. In fact, he scored against the USA. And he was on the pitch with Ronaldo and Bernardo Silva. He's living the dream that he never actually would ever get to do. Let's do another season then and see what we get for a second campaign with these players. I think this is pretty interesting. Obviously, there's a lot of players that we could have included as well. I had an idea of putting in Freddie Adu, Julius Agahauer, Mark Kerr as well. Let me know. Even players like Taribo Vest. I think a lot of people signed him. Not a Wonderkid, obviously, but a player that loads of people signed on the old FM. What if they were in it now? That's the question, isn't it? But let's have a look at the next season. So 18-19 season. Let's see who develops and goes where. I think we're going to start to see this little lot start to move. And this man, Mr. Madeira, might well be at Man City for the rest of his career. But he might well break all Ronaldo's records along the way. So I'll see you 1st of July 2019. And so we're back at the end of the second season of this experiment, if you like, this wander through what could have been had these players been world stars today, or rather last year now, I suppose. Anyway, you can see Chelsea and Man United have won the Premier Leagues. Any shocks in there? Ipswich, maybe? Yeah. Ipswich, Stoke, I suppose. Yeah, anyway, let's have a look at the short list. Let's see where our players are. Are there any surprises? Well, Termadilla's at Man City, and he's been joined by another one of our players. Cherno Samba is linked up, so they've got a front two of Samba and Madeira. Now, there's an idea that I would have liked to have beholded, that little adventure. Madeira, another good season, 14 in 36 league starts, or rather league games for him. He's actually starting a lot now. 32 of those 36 were starts, 53 starts in full, 26 goals. So he's racking up the goals for Man City. Cherno Samba, not quite as many, just the 1 goal so far, but a huge move from Millwall, £28.5 million. He's got to settle in, hasn't he? Let's face it. A transfer agreed. Zola-Moukoko is joining, or Moukoko, however you say it, is joining Monaco. Joins this coming summer. Don't know how much for. Casual 23.5 million, rising to who knows what. So great. It looks like there's a couple more transfers made. In fact, Bakayoko's under bid for £34.5 million to Spurs. Tsigalko is on his way to PSG. That's an interesting one, isn't it? What a bargain. What an absolute steal that is for £1.4 million. Well done, PSG. I can't believe you got him. Bit of an indifferent season for him, though. 6.99. Probably play better with the better players around him. And Sigporsson is on his way to Spurs. And a free deal. So he must have refused to sign a contract. He scored goals for fun in the Icelandic Premier Division. So a few of these players are going to be playing in the Premier League, a few against each other. It looks like the other couple are going to go to France. So no one's going to Spain, Italy, no, Germany, no. England and France are the clubs these players are choosing. Interesting, I think. It's Cherno Samba. His physicals, I picked him out of a few pictures on, like, as I said at the start of the video, a few pictures of what he was on game. Maybe not quite as, maybe he needs a bit more natural fitness and a bit more agility and balance, but I think, his potential is 200, so I think all these stats will rise comfortably. He's certainly a Wonderkid, and you'd expect him to settle right into Man City. He is only 20. He is now capped by England, so he's an England international. We forgot to check that. Maderia, certainly a mainstay in the Portugal side. Moukoko, comfortably in charge at Congo. Bakayoko knocking in the goals for fun for Ivory Coast. Same for Tsigalko and Sigporsson, equally so at Iceland. So they're all internationals. They're all progressing nicely. I think the telling point is going to be the end of the next season. The next 2 seasons, I think what we'll do is we'll go in bounds of 2 from this stage. So next episode 2, will feature 4 seasons in full. That'll be the 2019-20 season, right through to the, what it'll be, 19, 20, 21, 22, 2022-23. So covering a nice 4-year spectrum. Players will be age 24. We should hope that some of them have maybe won a few honours, maybe some Champions Leagues along the way. Have Man City won any Champions Leagues? That's the question, isn't it? No, but they did win a Europa League. And Maderia played. So, yeah, he's got a winner's medal there. Maybe even Cherno Samba was on the bench. We can't see the score, can we? We can. No, I can't. That's not his team. Doesn't look like Samba was involved. Maybe he was registered too late for that one. So they're picking up honours. That's the important thing. Who do you think's doing the best then? You'd have to say Madeira. Then he probably a little bit advantage by the fact that he started unattached, so there was no club holding him back, and he went straight into Man City's academy. And what a freebie he's turned out to be. I think Tsigalko moving to PSG for a steal of 1.4 million is quite simply absurd. But there you go. It is what it is. They're obviously getting more money than KR Reykjavik are for Sigporsson. So it'll be interesting to see how he does at Spurs, especially if he links up with Bakayoko. So we're going to have a front 2 of Madeira and Samba at Man City, and a front 2 of Bakayoko and Sigporsson at Tottenham. Who knows what could happen? The other 2 will be at Monaco and PSG. Not bad clubs to be mingling with. Do pop a like on there for me if you've enjoyed. Let me know in the comments as well who you think should be included if we were to do this again. Maybe we could expand this, put some extra players in, take some players out. There's players out there we could stick in there. Freddie Adu, I've mentioned. There's loads, isn't there? Come on, everyone's got a favourite. Probably in the first game you played in the series, whether it's Championship Manager or Football Manager, you've probably got a favourite. Little Wonderkid that was always available that you always purchased first. Who was it? Let me know. Maybe it was one of these boys. Subscribe if you haven't already. It would be great. It does help me out, and it's lovely to see. I'll see you again on the next video, and goodbye.